Hey, welcome to the Escape Pod. I am Sal,
I'm Josiah.
And and I'm Nathan.
and we all just saw the Vivivitch, the witch. Damn it,
The bitch.
the witch in English, whatever folk tale. So Nathan, what do you think about the witch?
Can I
Oh yeah,
So
no,
let
we
me
should
just-
talk about the events surrounding this. This is really funny.
No. Wait. Yeah. So I saw The Vivitch like a week ago with my girlfriend. We went to see a movie when we were out, and we were like, "Hey, the Vivitch. I've heard this is terrifying. Scary movies are fun." And I watched it, and I formed my opinion of it, and then Josiah and Sal saw it like a week later and have refused to tell me what they think about it.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep me in the dark and like see if we're all in agreement or if I'm the odd man out.
Yeah.
So I'm fucking salty about that now.
Yeah, and since your opinion is public, we thought you should go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just get no. Actually, you can give a quick opinion, or you can give a rundown of how it actually unfolded. I'm very.
I was gonna
curious.
say, can I give? You know how people out there are all like posting a bunch of spoiler free review. Can I do a spoiler only review
Yes.
real quick?
Sure.
I just want to point out the moments that happen, because there's very few moments of things that actually happen, and there's a lot of fluff in between them. So I'm just going to point out all the moments that happen and just get you through it and save you, $10 to $15 seeing this movie in theaters. So here's
Salty.
So here's the fucking Vivitch. Okay, here's what happens. So, witch steals a baby, then she grinds it up or some shit. Then that scene's over. Then the boy and the chick and the girl, they go out, they go hunting. Shit happens. The boy gets lost. Finds the Vivitch. She's a sexy bitch now. She kisses him, and then she grabs him with this freaky arm. And then that scene's over. Then the boy's back, and the girl finds him. They take him to the room. He starts freaking out. And the kids are like, "Hey, the girl's a witch." Then the girl's like, "Hey, no, the kids are a witch." And then the kids start spazzing out, and the boy starts spazzing out. And he spits out a fucking apple. And then he's like, "Hey, I love you, Jesus." And Jesus is like, "Love you too." Then he's dead. Then that scene's over. Then the girl and the kids are like, "Hey, they're all witches." Dad's like, "Hey, I've had enough of all your shit." Locks them in the fucking barn. And then the witch shows up, drinks a goat, takes the kids,
Drinks a goat.
leaves. Dad wakes up in the morning. He's like, "Hey, shit happened." Then the goat's like, "Fuck yeah, it did," and he stabs the dad. Dad dies. Mom's like, "Hey, girl, you did all this shit." Girl's like, "No, I didn't." Mom tries to kill the girl. Girl kills the mom. Then the girl's like, "Hey, goat, are you Satan?" Goat's like, "Yeah." Girl's like, "Bitchin'." They go to a fireplace and they do drugs and fly. That's the witch.
Yeah. So, yeah. So Nathan, did you like the Vivitch?
The Vivitch is the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen. Whatever you're expecting to see from the witch, you will be disappointed.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
is
I'm so
awful.
sorry.
So, me and Josiah fucking love the witch. We spent the entire car, walk to the car ride, and the moments we were at my place,
Oh, God.
literally sucking this movie's metaphorical cock, calling it like masterpiece, a cinematic classic, an achievement in modern art.
Oh no!
Oh my God, that was the funniest experience in my life.
That was the best opening. We can never beat that.
Whoa.
We can never beat that.
No!
Yeah. So basically, I liked it a lot.
I loved it.
No.
I want to fight. I want to find Robert Eggers and perform fellatio daily.
You have a lot of cocks to suck,
Dude. My mouth is so ready.
So
Should we just go into it?
now that we dropped the bomb, okay. Let me say this from a very surface level. Nathan's amazing summation was completely accurate.
Missing
however,
20 billion details.
Yes, but I
Nathan,
don't think he's gonna recover.
Nathan, between sentences, skipped 20 minutes of footage with a lot of subtle content and amazement.
I mean, yes, he did.
I cannot
So-
believe this just happened.
So basically,
I'm physically hurting right now.
I know.
Hearing that you guys liked this movie My heart hurts worse than when I was dumped by my first girlfriend. Like this is so much pain right now. This is almost as bad as actually watching the movie.
No, Nathan, we didn't like The Witch. We fucking love The Witch. Like is such a meaningless word compared to what we felt about this movie.
Okay, so let me back up. Nathan, I want to address your comment about whatever expectations you have going in. Will not be will not be satisfied.
No, go ahead. No, please.
No, I'm explaining. So I went basically. Okay, it's true that before the movie came out, it all started. So I think you and I just found the trailer, right?
I found it and I showed it to you. So I wanted to enrich your life.
Okay, so you showed me the trailer. I thought it was phenomenal. We watched the second trailer. I thought it was phenomenal. Probably some of the best trailers I've seen in years. Probably since Man of Steel, but that's not comparable. Probably since Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Again, to some people that would probably be a negative, but fuck you. But the trailers were amazing, and I was hyped. And basically, what we did was we looked up Robert Eggers' other work, and he had basically only done short films when we saw it. It was basically Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart, and it was really slow paced and awesome. And he was like turning the doorknob to like the clicks of the clock and stuff. It was really great. And so we were like, okay, so this movie's probably going to be really like The Shining.
Yes.
Meets it really slow and Stanley Kubrick-y and really ponderous, but still like disturbing. So let me put it this way: The Witch.
Whenever I describe it to people like outside of the internet because of Nathan, I always say it's like The Shining. Like if you like The Shining, you like The Witch.
Well, kind of.
If you take out the fact that none of the characters are interesting and there's not one remotely scary moment in it, then yes, it is like The Shining.
Let me put it this way. The Witch scared me at several points. It was not... The whole film wasn't scary. It was more... What's the word?
Tense?
Tense and eerie.
Yes.
But there was moments where it was legitimate. Like, I remember when the witch grounded up the baby. That was actually like... Okay, I don't know how to define scared, okay? Like, it's I'm so old right now that, like,
Me too.
I don't know what it means to be scared.
In a modern sense, it's like, ooh, loud music, jump scares, boo, boo haunted house the movie. This was like slow, methodical.
That scene was pretty horrifying. The other scene I'll point out, massive spoilers by the way, is when the crow's pecking at Lysa Tully's breast.
Jesus Christ.
That scene was pretty intense. And then I remember
haunting.
When I heard Black Phillip's voice, that was also another strong moment. But the point is, most of the film was basically just stringing out the tension and the eeriness. Like, the score was fucking amazing.
Oh god, the score with... Well, I don't know, what was it the theater we watched it in where the sound was like fucking incredible?
They pumped it up. They pumped up the sound.
Okay, let me... Okay, so let me just say... Like building the tension and the good music. Okay, that's what you got out of it. What I got out of that was it felt like every fucking scene ended with a shot of the woods and violins pricking up and cut to black and then nothing happens. Like that's a really good trick. Like the first 3 times you use it, gets a little old after 20.
It wasn't that frequent, I will say.
Yeah, it was not.
It was pretty fucking frequent.
In the first half, there was 3 moments like that, and they were all under different contexts.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Is like the first scene, they're kneeling in front of the forest, and it's setting up, okay, the witch is in the woods. Second scene, baby gets taken. All right. Third time it happens, it's the boy getting lost, and it shows you the expanse of the forest, and it's to provide the idea that he's just journeyed farther into the forest. So they're all under different contexts.
Yes.
So while it does, yes, it's the forest, and there happen to be violins, and it does cut to black, I never got the same feeling. There was the constant feeling of eeriness and tension, but it was all a different moment for me, if that makes sense.
Every shot, I guess if you just looked at it like out of context, it's the same thing. But like in the moment, I felt a variety of emotions that were different from the last time they showed me that shot.
I felt nothing.
Well, let's bring this back. Okay, so the only way we're gonna find common ground, Nathan. So you said going in, you expected this. Yeah, Sal and I were talking about quotes about it, and we were showed you the trailer, and we were like, oh, this movie's probably going to be really scary. So you went in, expecting a scary movie.
I mean, I didn't expect like the traditional like scary film. I felt like this was going to like unsettle me and make me feel like uncomfortable and like have me like on the edge of my seat. Like I wasn't expecting jump scares or anything,
Right.
but I was expecting it to like build this atmosphere that would unsettle me.
Mhm.
And it just didn't. And that's
and it-
like, again, this is what's great about opinions, is we can, looking for the same thing in the same product, and there's two different sides to it.
Because I know
I
I
gotta
definitely
say-
felt that.
Let me put it this way. I was going in wanting to love this movie.
Me too.
And yes, I did. I know you. I'm not saying you weren't. I'm just saying to show my bias, whatever they might be. I was going in expecting the movie to like it a lot, and I know what I expected from it. I did see some quote PSAs before I saw it that this isn't a scary movie. It's a drama, And I was like, okay. There was even this guy, Nick Nocturne, Nightmind. He said, I shouldn't even be reviewing this. This isn't even a horror film. And then I saw the movie, and I'm like, of course it was.
Yeah, that was like when I got home
It-
after reviewing it, I wanted to start working on my horror script again. Like,
Well, whether you were scared by it, you can't deny that this is a horror film. It just happens to be a period drama horror film.
yeah, it's a mixture because there's like
Yeah.
it's like a mystery as well.
The only mystery was when I figured out that Black Phillip was the legitimate devil. I thought he was just a goat that was being warged into, but I was
Oh, God,
mistaken.
that fucking scene.
Honestly, the only thing that I really got away from this was like, man, if you didn't live in the plantation in this time period, it sucked.
Well, I think that it's clever in that it's saying, oh, hey, all those crazy religious people who were witch hunting, they were right. I think that's kind of like a unique brand of humorous to me, that like they leave these really like crazy religious town. This guy's like, listen, I know what the Bible says. And they go into the woods, and it turns out these shitty witch hunting Christians were absolutely correct, and there's horrifying satanic groups gathering in the woods.
Mhm.
I thought that was just funny from like an ironic kind of level. Like I gotta say, when I saw those PSAs about it not being a horror film and that it was a drama, I was so fucking worried that there wasn't going to be a witch, and that literally they were just gonna burn the girl alive and the movie would end.
I only watched two trailers because I saw the first two trailers and then I was like, fuck, I don't want to know anything. Because like for me personally, it was like I saw the trailers, and when you watch a trailer and you have an image in your mind of what the movie should be on like in the best case scenario. This movie happened to me. That was my best case scenario. This movie was literally everything I imagined it to be and what I wanted it to be. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I want this to be paced out, smart, interesting, building up, building and building and building, and it's what I got.
I wonder, this is just something that sprung to my mind. Nathan, is it possible you didn't connect to the characters because of how they were speaking?
Ooh.
Because I know you don't like Shakespeare, so I was wondering if maybe that caused you not to be able to form a connection as easily when you were trying to figure out what they were saying.
That was a little bit of it. I think the other thing, at the beginning of the film, I didn't get that plantation was a bunch of crazy witch hunters. Like, to me, it just seemed like a regular plantation, and they're just like, you committed the crime of heresy, and then this guy continues to like do regular Christian things, and I'm like, where was the falling out? Like, the foundation of this whole thing makes no sense to me.
Well, I think that was the point, is that they were what it was implying to you is that they basically say, like, some of the lines that I really liked in the opening scene was that they basically say, oh, you're not following our teachings, and he's like, bitch, I know what the fucking Bible says. No false Christian can judge me. He says that line, and then yes, it leaves it vague as to what their specific ideas were. But if you kind of just imagine, is it weird that the moment the father speaks, I was immediately like with him, and I was like, yeah, you're telling the truth. These guys are
I will say,
like,
I did like the father. The father was the one thing I liked about it.
okay. I liked him a lot too. Also, I gotta say, the lead actress, Anya Taylor-Joy, I know she's playing an underage character. She's 20 in real life, but I have a serious crush on her. I'm just saying.
Me too. Also, call me. We're gonna make movies together now. Also, can I expand upon the witch thing for real quick? Just that opening bit.
Yeah, please.
Go
So
ahead.
Christianity is weird, as is most religions. So there's like 20 billion sects within sects of like people who like, even though they both believe in God and Jesus and the Bible, they have fundamental differences that make them hate each other.
Yes.
What I got from that opening scene, personally, when I was watching it, was obviously this person, he came over from England and he has a certain religion about him, but it doesn't mesh well with this plantation. And the reason why it's so like weird and focused on the kids and like it's so maybe like vague is because that's how I bet the kids would have been feeling, since it's all from the daughter's perspective of her being like, why are we being kicked out?
Yeah, we're
What's
not supposed to
happening?
know. She doesn't know what her dad was saying because
Mhm.
she is the main. She is the main character. She's
Yes.
effectively the PNC character.
Yeah. So what I got was we were kind of a little vague and confused because she was.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Maybe I looked too deeply into it, but
No, that's basically what I imagine because it basically opens and yeah, the first voice you hear is the father's, but the scene ends with her going, "Wait, what the fuck's going on?" And they're like, "We're going," and then she's like, "What?" And then she just gets pulled along.
Mhm.
I will say, the acting is pretty great across the board. Even the little twins who aren't actually twins, that was just really good casting.
Damn, okay.
They were really good, aside from the one scene where they fall down, and so for a second, because I figure this is the Crucible, that they're faking it so that she gets killed.
Mhm.
But no, they were supposed to be serious. So that was the one part where I was like, what is your performance? But they're child actors, so they're allowed that. This goat was like, I already hate goats. My cousins owned a ranch, and I would go around like they had this shack, and if you go around the corner, the goats would all just turn. You have to basically, it's a square shack in the middle of a field, and you have to feed them. You got to go around this corner. And when you go around, all three goats just turn their heads to look at you at once,
Ugh.
and they're fucking square eyes. Like I've never fucking liked goats. So I just gotta say that I am fine with goats being portrayed as Satan. That's fine by me.
See, honest, like, I'm fine with goats being Satan. Like, fine, all aboard the Satan goat train. The fact that that's like the big reveal at the end,
That
like,
wasn't the big reveal.
I almost fucking laughed because, well, no, it like that's what it felt like, because it was just like, oh man, these kids are talking to the goat, and it's like blah blah blah, and it's like, oh man, he might be Satan. And then when she finally like talks to the kids, and he's like, does he actually say anything? They're just sort of like, eh, and
Just
you
cut
know,
away,
like,
cut away. Yeah.
like it, yeah, like it's sort of just like, oh, so they're just stupid kids talking to a stupid goat, and then it's just like, no, the goat is Satan, and it's
Well,
like, oh,
See,
well,
okay.
well,
So
well,
like, all right, listen here. You say it like that. Like you say like, oh, and the goat's Satan. But like in the moment, I remember like recoiling back into my chair and gasping.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like I said earlier. This was my assumption because the movie's all about the details. I'm assuming there was a lot of things I assumed. Like for instance, I told this to Lee, but when the boy looks at his sister's breasts and they get lost in the woods, I swear to God, there's nothing wrong with me. But he does it twice. So I
Yes,
swear to God,
one when she's sleeping and one when she's washing her dad's clothes.
I swear to God, this
Yeah.
is not me being twisted. I thought the witch was gonna make them fuck.
Me too.
Like I thought.
oh, I had a much more fucked up idea of a moment in the movie.
What did you think
Yeah.
was gonna happen?
Did I? Oh God. Okay. I swear, I am not a fucked up individual.
No.
No, we
I'm-
are, but
I'm not a pedo. Like, I thought this movie, like, this was early in the movie. I thought it was gonna do like balls to the wall, fucked up shit. So the scene where the witch has the baby.
Oh yes.
yeah.
Okay. I had two ideas, both of which I quickly dismissed. When she has the baby and she's being like weird, creepy old hands over the naked baby, for 1 second, I thought
Yeah.
she was gonna jerk it off, and I was
Oh
like,
my God.
my other thing was that I thought she was gonna circumcise him and like be like, because that's weird. Like, I mean, it's a thing that people still do, but I mean, that's like a weird old
Yeah.
like religious
It's-
consequence.
It's a Jewish tradition.
So I thought those two things were gonna happen, but no, it was actually just a really long shot of her having her hands over the baby, and then a cut to her grinding up what is probably the baby.
Yeah, so obviously we both had interesting ideas as to how fucked up the film could go. Anyway, to circle way back to what I was saying, is that the reason the goat thing worked for me is, like I said, I thought the witch was just talking to the kids by warging into the goat. So I didn't expect the goat to itself be anything. And so that's why
Me
it was
too,
a
actually.
surprise to me. Because there was the rabbit, and the rabbit didn't turn out to be anything, so I assumed the witch just controlled animals.
I felt like personally, my theory was that the witch saw through the rabbit's eyes.
Oh, I think that's probably what actually was happening.
Okay.
It's just the goat was also an entity. But Nathan, I will give you this. It is a flaw of the movie that when she says, does he truly speak to thee, it cuts. Because
Yeah.
when she knows what to do at the end of the movie because of the black book and stuff, that's kind of cheating. They should have had the twins say something vague enough where she understands at the end, and then it plays out. So I will give you that. That is
Actually,
a
agree.
cut that cut should not have happened. It was a flaw.
Also, I like when she's talking to the goat and the goat is talking back. They're trying to make it like this super serious, dark scene. So you never see the goat talking as a goat. And I wanted that one shot because I was not taking that scene seriously.
I wanted it too. But Nathan, remember when we saw Drag Me to Hell?
Yes.
And it possessed the goat, and the Lamia possessed the goat, and it was like freaking out, and it was a puppet and stuff. Okay, that's unrelated, but that was the first thing I thought of. Second thing, I actually wanted it to talk because I thought it was going to be a reference to this movie Antichrist.
Yes.
In the movie Antichrist, it's a film by a very fucked up director. But my point is that there's a scene. It's a silly scene, but
it's not silly. It was creep me the fuck out.
it's creepy. But listen. My point is that scene is an iconic part of Antichrist. The fox says chaos reigns, and then it kind of just runs off into the woods. But I was thinking they were gonna have the goat say something and it's not a fox, but I thought it was gonna be a reference because the whole movie, the whole idea that nature is evil, it was kind of reminding me of that movie, which I know you haven't seen, but I would have liked one shot of the goat talking.
Maybe.
Just one.
Well, like, whenever we're talking about the ending where she goes to talk to Black Phillip, right?
Yeah.
I like that we don't see the goat because, like, at that point, like, the devil's, like, actually, like, in human form now.
Yeah, he had these weird, like, cowboy spurs.
Oh, it was so good.
And his like feet sounded like chimes. It was weird. It was cool though.
I loved it. And when she's like, what do I have to do? And he's like, write your name down in my book. And she's like, I don't know how to spell my name. And he's like, here. And he gets really close over her and he's like, I will guide your hand.
Yeah.
And then smash cuts to her walking into the woods. And I was like, yes.
I will say I did like that shot where he walks behind her because at least in my theater, behind her it was already so dark that it was hard to tell if he really was there. Like I saw like a flicker behind her. And then when he like crosses over from the other side, I was like, oh, he was behind her the whole time. So that was kind of cool. Like it felt more like his presence was felt than he was actually there.
Yeah. In my theater, you could clearly see like a hat and a beard, but it was the similar kind of thing where it was darkness and then he just kind of floats out of it.
Yeah. No, because for a while during the scene, I was like, wait a minute, that kind of move, is he behind her? Then I was
Yeah,
like,
and then he was.
No,
I was like,
maybe not.
oh.
And then it was like, oh shit, he's behind her. And it felt so good.
Also, one of the things that pissed me right the fuck off is that they don't resolve what happens to the witch. Like, that witch is entirely inconsequential. She's just gone. Like, is she there at the bonfire?
Yeah.
Or is she, like, division of the witches? Or
Well, you assume she is, but I agree that... How do I explain this? I'm trying to remember what I actually thought in the movie, because I was like, where the fuck is this going?
you were caught up in the movie magic? That's all I'm saying. Shit movie.
No, but I was trying to... Okay, so fair enough, but I think the whole idea was that... How do I explain this to you?
I thought this was one whole big vetting process for this girl.
I agree. Like, that witch wasn't really a character. She was part of... In fact, none of the witches, I think what it's implying is none of the witches are really characters. They're all like fingers of Satan. She was the mouth of Sauron. She ultimately didn't matter, but she was there.
Thomasin is the witch.
Yeah, it's talking about her. Like, the title of the movie is not about that witch. She could have been anybody. Yeah, so, okay, that's fair enough. It's a fair enough point. I don't know how they could have done it without it being a reveal that there's a bunch of fucking witches there.
I disagree. I think it was perfectly clear.
It was clear. I'm saying to satisfy Nathan's...
You can't satisfy Nathan.
No, that's not fair. That's not fair at all. I can't give him a justification for why other than the reasons we just gave, yes.
That she was just more of a plot device than a character or scary entity.
Okay, I will say that when she turns around and yells at the kids, that could have been a bit more demonic.
Actually. I love that a lot.
It was good.
I laughed.
It like I said, it's kind of on the edge. It should have been a bit more demonic, but...
No, man, I thought it was great. She was just an old lady. I loved it.
Well, we knew that, though.
I don't care.
Like, we knew
it wasn't a reveal. It was just creepy.
The fact that it was a stereotypical witch laugh.
I liked it.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit more towards Nathan on this one. Like, it was a bit more of a stereotypical witch laugh, and the fact that she eats the children. I feel like you could have played that up more.
No, I know it was a stereotypical witch laugh. I just enjoyed it.
Oh, I went with it. It's just, again,
I mean, you guys enjoyed the fucking movie.
Like,
so,
I'm not denying that it wasn't a stereotypical witch laugh or whatever, or that she. Actually, one of the things I liked about the movie was that she was a stereotypical witch.
Again, that fits into the humor with me. That they have fucking brooms. Like, it literally is.
Dude,
stereotypical witches.
When it cuts really early on, I caught it immediately when she was like using the baby's blood to make to power
Yeah.
her broom, I was like, fuck.
Let me just say, so one of the things that I found out was at the end when they said the witch, a collection of New England, tales or whatever it is. I feel like if they had done that, since they very clearly decided, no, we're not going to do a horror movie, we're just going to tell a story that involves witches in some
Sure,
degree.
that is a horror movie, but go on.
So if they were going to have this collection of witch stories, I would have I feel like since they again pushed out on being scary, I think it would have done better. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was structured more like a Quentin Tarantino movie and had it as like individual acts happening to different people. Because I did notice that, here's one section where it's about a witch who stole a baby and killed it so that she could fly. Here's another story about, this witch who seduced this young boy away and then cursed him. Here's a story of these kids who, like a crucible moment where it's them faking and it's them like pointing fingers at this person who's innocent. And here's the story of the girl who makes a deal with the devil and goes off and does drugs by a bonfire. I think that would have been better if it was like a bunch of individual skits happening to different people. But since it's all different kinds of witch stories and it's all happening to this one family, it made me go, "Oh, come now!" Like, but that's improbable.
As Sal said, it was all a vetting process, and secondly, that wouldn't help your problem of not relating to the characters. I don't think.
I mean, it would have given them a chance because we would have got more characters.
Well, I mean,
or it would have been more okay with them. With not connecting to them because they would have been in it for a briefer period of time.
I connected with all the central characters. I connected with Thomason. I connected with Caleb, the parents. All the people I needed to connect to, I did.
I think for me, the film worked on different levels. I was disturbed, but when they had simple scenes like, I sold your cup. Like, it was just, the drama worked for me, where the kids are up and they're listening to their parents talk about how we're basically fucked. We can't grow any food. We can't sell anything. We have to go back and and I like how it all hinged on, is basically the father's pride. Like, he's like, no, fuck no, I'm not going back to those guys and begging for their help. I'm not going to give Thomason away. And so I like that. The drama worked for me about 97% of the scary stuff that Nathan didn't find scary.
Yeah, I was, I guess we're sort of summing it up, but I was scared. I felt thrilled. I felt the drama. I loved all the subtlety to it. I loved all the little things, like how the brother had a weird, because it's a small family, he doesn't know many people, he's blossoming as a young adult.
He's isolated.
Yes, and I love, and okay, this is going to be a weird sentence. No one judge me
go on.
or take this soundbite out of context.
No, I'm going to, but okay.
I love how they do the cleavage.
I agree. Because
okay, here's the thing. Most ways, if this was done by another director, a not so subtle one, she would have had fucking huge bustling tits.
What, Thomason?
Yes.
Well,
she
if
would
it
have
was
been,
Zack Snyder.
She would have been fully formed and everything, but no, they just show like the bare skin above the breasts, like literally the chest, like, and he sees that and he's like, and then okay, so then that's the first thing, that when she's sleeping. Later on, she's washing her dad's clothes. She's sort of bent over. Now we can see some more, and he's getting a bit more frustrated because he's feeling these things. But he can't do anything about it because sister. That's weird. That's how the witch is able to seduce him, because when he meets the witch, she's like the young boy's dream. Her tits are like fully out. She has like incredible cleavage. It's like
she looks like Little Red Riding Hood. That was a bit too on the nose, but I was fine with it.
I was
and
fine
that
with it
hand, man. I mean, like.
Ugh. That was so nasty.
She gives the best reach around.
I love a good reach around, not gonna lie.
With a broom too, yeah.
Oh shit. Another thing I really enjoyed was how basically the father sells the mom's silver cup, which is her dad's, to buy traps in the woods because they think a wolf stole the baby. Wait, that's actually really stupid, but moving on.
It's a super speed wolf.
Yeah, it's a super speed wolf. I guess they just didn't believe Thomason, but whatever. I would have honestly liked to see that conversation.
No. They actually explain it later that she said that it must have been a wolf or something because she doesn't know where he went.
Oh, okay. But so yeah, he buys traps and they go out to see if it caught anything. Him and Caleb, the son, and they come back like midday, and the mom's like, "Okay, where the fuck were you? We run a farm." And then basically Caleb lies and says they were looking for apples. He thought I saw an apple tree. When he chokes up the apple, it's like, oh, the witch was watching you have that conversation, and like it's catching you being a liar. I don't know. There's a lot of subtleties to it where like they.
I got that. I kind of went, Like, I'd rest assured, I wasn't like blind to the subtlety. It just didn't do anything for me.
Nathan had a suggestion earlier of fuck your expectations and not going to hold up to it. I guess now that you've heard two people say the complete opposite thing, I think you should see The Witch because A, promote films that are not based off anything in our original scripts
And are smaller.
and are smaller. This film was a Sundance movie. It won, I think, Best Director at Sundance, and now
Yeah.
has moved to theatrical. So support indie filmmakers, support smaller films, but go in with an open mind. Don't expect the typical horror movie, but some people aren't actually scared by this, and some people don't find it to be actually scary or any good, but love it or hate it. It's one of those movies, I guess.
But see, here's my thing, is that it isn't your typical horror movie, and you might not find it scary. But I don't find The Shining scary either, but it just builds a creepy atmosphere for me.
Mhm.
I think what The Witch did for me is that it just showed me what I've been wanting from more horror films,
Yes.
that I've kind of gotten with The Babadook and Oculus. It follows. You know, there's a bunch of good horror movies. This one does it probably the most solidly in terms of like really slow just atmosphere, because I gotta say, when she rises up with the other witches, that does more for me than any of your Friday the 13th or any of that. Like
Yeah.
it, and this is because I was with the characters, and it was working for me, but it's because that kind of a climax means more to me than a villain opening their eye after they're supposedly dead. Like it just, I want more films where they're focused on, even if it's a slow pace, building an atmosphere. I want a quick segue. Nathan, if the father had had an epic duel with Black Phillip using his axe, would that have made the climax better for you? Because I know I wouldn't have minded that.
Sure. I mean, I think
I'm joking, of course, but you know.
I think more what I would have wanted. I would have liked it if the father had seen the Vivitch.
Yeah.
Like if he had like gone out into the woods after she took the kids and left his daughter. To me, that would be ass kicking time. I was waiting for him to like fuck everyone's shit, and then he kind of just gets taken out by a goat, and then he's like, "Oh fuck it, I'm gonna let this wood crush me. This is my fate."
And I love that
it's like,
bit.
of course you did.
Well, 'cause
I
it's how he gets at his frustrations of the whole movie, but it's the thing that like collapse. It's good imagery.
I want both. I'm sorry. I'm on both of your sides. I would have liked like a really gory him going and like chopping up the witch. It would have been like a mirror of them chopping up the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood. But at the same time, I do like the imagery. I just wish he hadn't gone down that easily. I want the middle ground.
Like when this movie started, like I was ready. You know, like when they had their scene where it's like, oh, they're exiled, and it's like, oh shit, man, they're in the middle of the woods. This is freaky. Like if you're like afraid of isolation, this is horrifying. Like I'm ready, building up that atmosphere. You get the witch stealing the baby and grinding him up. And I'm like, oh shit, man, shit's gonna get real. And then I think there's some scene after that. It's either the end of that scene or it's the end of a scene that follows shortly after. One of the many violins building cut to black. They have that moment, and I'm like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then there's a quick shot of him chopping wood. That was the one moment where I like did a little bit of a jump because I was expecting something to happen. Like those first 20 minutes, I was like, oh shit, build up, build up, build up. And then they do that cut to black, chop firewood, and I go, huh. And then I slowly like sink back and go, oh god, that's all you're gonna do, isn't it? And then it's like, oh.
I'm gonna buy this on Blu-ray.